we have a practice called Kwanzaa Bosal chanting. Kwanzaa Bosal is the bodhisattva of compassion. I didn't know this, but my friend George, who's also a JDPSN in our school from the Czech Republic, told me that Kwanzaa Bosal, Kwanzaa Bosal is usually depicted as a female, and that's Kwanzaa Bosal is a Korean name, but the actual, I think the Sanskrit name, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. So Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, we'll call her AB for short. Appeared in Buddhism at the same time as Mother Mary appeared in Christianity. It's very interesting to me. Like when the Christians started praying to Mother Mary, the Buddhists started chanting Kwanzaa Bosal. Right? This is interesting. Like that something. So George is saying like there was some spreading of a certain teaching that there's this an energy that's given some sort of a feminine identity that people hope will manifest and help their lives, basically. Anyway, in our school, when we don't know what to do to help someone, let's say you have a sick relative, you might come and you say to the teacher, hey, can we dedicate the Kwanzaa Bosal chanting to my person it could be your person that you're talking. You could actually say that next time you're here for special chanting. You say to the teacher, hey, can we dedicate the Kwanzaa Bosal chanting to my person? So we want to help someone, we don't know how to help them, and so we chant Kwanzaa Bosal, Kwanzaa Bosal, Kwanzaa Bosal. It's interesting because as we chant Kwanzaa Bosal, so Kwanzaa Bosal means more or less, may the energy of healing and helping go towards that person. May the energy, you could say that too, if you choose, may the energy of healing and helping go to that person. But while we're chanting it, we're keeping our minds on what is chanting this? Don't know, right? So we're actually, in a way, moving our point of attention away from, oh my God, I'm so worried. I don't know what to do. Oh God, help me. What should I do? If I was just a better person, I could figure this out. Instead, to paying deep attention to the Kwanzaa Bosal, Kwanzaa Bosal, Kwanzaa Bosal. Somehow that creates room. It creates room for some inspiration other than the tight thinking to come. Yeah, just not to go back. So as if I'm able to view a person as having done something wrong or doing something hateful, but not clinging to my anger and hatred, I may also create room for myself to think of something to do or create room in the world for something to do. So it creates room for this intuitive thing to come. But for me, some people, when Buddhism came to the West, it became very rationalistic, right? If you create Kwanzaa Bosal, you'll block out other thoughts, you'll create some room for your intuition, you'll come up with a solution, and you'll act better in relation to your problem. Me, I prefer to believe that when I chant Kwanzaa Bosal, an energy goes into the universe, and somehow that energy lands on the person I'm hoping to help. So you get to decide. Either way, the practice, either way, you get to experiment with the practice and see if it helps. Right. So another way to do it is if you don't like saying Kwanzaa Bosal, you just keep this vow. How may I help? Right. And then you say, don't know. It's not how may I help? Well, the problem is like they when they get anxious, they take drugs. So we just have to make sure they never get, it's not that. It's how may I help? Don't know. How may I help? Don't know. Okay. So that's kind of a practical way to approach a situation like that, right? Then there's something else. So I wasn't there, but my friend Matt Keeler, JDPSN, was at a talk that the Master Sung Young, Bobby Rhodes was giving. She was answering questions like me. And it was at Providence Zen Center. And Matt was there, and he's the one that told me this story. And a woman raised her hand to ask a question. And basically, she raised her hand, Bobby called on her, and she instantly started crying. And she's like, this happened, and then that happened, and then this happened. And she just like went on for like 5 days, sobbing and sobbing, sobbing. And then at the end of it, Zen Master Seongyang said to this person, can you trust all that? So that doesn't mean, can you sit here and never try to change it? It means that this is the condition of right now. This is what it's like, right? Just now. I'm sad. I don't like that what's happening. And this is what it is right now, right? As opposed to, in my mind, I'm going to go to war with the present. There's absolutely impossible to change the present, right? So going to war with the present is a losing battle. So can you trust the present? That means, can you trust the present means, can you greet it with a don't know mind and let loving consciousness arise, right? By itself. So there's this thing that we call the 6 paramitas. The 6 paramitas are the characteristics of a bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is someone who's delayed entering nirvana until all beings can enter nirvana together. By the way, I don't know about you, but I don't think even one person can enter nirvana unless all beings enter nirvana together. It's like, oh, I'm having a great time at the playground. Sorry, no one else in the playground here. Like, it's no fun in the playground unless there's other people in the playground, right? So there's no such thing as a fun game if there aren't any other players. So there's no such thing as a peaceful nirvana unless everybody is peaceful together, right? So, but the characteristics of a bodhisattva is someone who actually says, I understand that I will not have peace until all beings have peace, right? And this is why we work for the peace of all beings, like Ian talked about. You know, sentient beings are numberless. We've got to save them all, because when they're all saved, once they all get on the bus to nirvana, I can be like, bus driver, I'm coming on, close the door, let's go. Nirvana, next stop, right? So a person that understands that I'm not getting into nirvana until everybody gets into nirvana together stops fighting with the world, right? Stops fighting with the present. Person that fights with the present, who can trust things as they are in this moment, automatically, without trying, what arises from them is generosity and patience and resilience and absorption in the moment. These are the characteristics of a bodhisattva. So Zen Master Jokam once read something, he can't remember where because I've asked him, but he said a bodhisattva has the scent of the paramitas. I really like this because the scent means to me that if I hold this not knowing, trusting of the moment and allow these things to arise, then my whole universe has the scent of those paramitas. It doesn't just mean they emanate from me, but suddenly I begin to experience them in you. Like, wow, everybody's much more generous than they used to be. But that's because I saved all beings in my mind, right? Suddenly I experience them as more generous. Experiencing them as more generous, I myself become more generous. I myself become more generous, make the world a better place. All beings become even more generous, like so. So the Lotus Sutra, which is all beings are moving together towards becoming Buddha, starts to actually have like a almost a rational sense to it. Like, wow, that's actually true. So sorry, that was a really long answer, Chris, but trust that if you let yourself greet the situation with a not knowing mind, and then, you know, chant some version of Kwanzaa Bosal, whatever you like to call it, that opportunities will appear, right? Doesn't mean you'll save your friend's life. Doesn't mean everything will turn out the way that you want to. It means that your conduct will be the best you're able to make it.